Howdy, dorks. It is the conclusion of week 5. It's crazy to say, man. Already week 5 of the Texas high school football season, and it was another really, really good one. Let's start off with a game that we said probably didn't have as much buzz around it as it usually does. I'm talking about the Battle of the Lakes between Westlake and Lake Travis down there in the Austin area. And being completely honest, if you would have asked me at the beginning of this week, what is your take on the Battle of the Lakes, I would have said, I think Westlake rolls. Lake Travis has been injury ridden. Lake Travis defense hasn't looked up to par of what we tend to think that a Hank Carter squad should. I thought Westlake was going to roll. Westlake ended up pulling out the win 35-20, but that's not really indicative of how the first half was going. At the first half, Lake Travis was up, and then Westlake ended up turning on the Jets. They really relied on future Notre Dame star, as Ish wants me to call him, Jaden Greathouse. The kid's unbelievable, but this was a little bit uncharacteristic from what we're usually seeing from a Westlake squad. I don't think there's anything to worry about here. Tony Salazar knows exactly what he's doing. He went in there at halftime and he got his defensive guys going and said, hey, what are we doing? Go back to playing our football. And they got it done. They're playing, with a backup quarterback as well. And so it's taken a little bit of time to get adjusted, but I don't think that Westlake has anything to worry about. They've got now the remainder of the season to get back into prime form. But was surprised by Lake Travis in the way that they were able to pull that together, and they really made it a game when, I will be honest, I underestimated them and I didn't think they were going to. So a good win there for Westlake. They did what they needed to do to finish it up. But I think a credit goes out to Lake Travis and what they were able to do tonight, pushing it more than I thought that they would have. Another team that solidified the number one spot in the rankings, that's 5A Division I, and Coach John King and his Longview Lobos pulling out the win 21-13 over Lancaster. I think this says a lot about this Lancaster squad. We wondered coming into this game, this has been the biggest test for either team so far. But Lancaster, I think, solidified that they're a very good team in 5A Division I as well. We hadn't really seen them play a whole lot of football that would be comparable to the Longview style of play, and they went out there. Ish was out at the game. He was saying it was an unbelievable atmosphere, as it always is. Two fantastic crowds, but Longview got the job done. They relied on Jalen Hale, their wide receiver number one, to really pull up big in the end, and I think that it was an impressive win for Longview, and one that solidifies, again, them as the number one spot, just like we talked about earlier. The game I was probably most interested in seeing this week was over there in West Texas. That was Wellington taking on Panhandle. Quite a few questions coming into this game. The biggest of them being, was Wellington going to be able to dictate the pace of the game and keep it a low-scoring affair? Panhandle is a team that will absolutely outscore anyone. I mean, they always are. This year, though, it looks like Panhandle has a defense, and so we were interested to see, with this being the first real big test for Wellington, and a team that, if it ended up turning into a shootout, there was really no way that the offense is explosive enough to go shot to shot with Panhandle, and Wellington did. They went out there, they dictated the game. Their defense looked absolutely outstanding. Their run game is exceptional with that wing T offense. I don't take anything away from Panhandle in this. I think that they just didn't get to play the style of play that they enjoy doing. That Panhandle defense, maybe not as good as we were hyping them up to be, but it's a better Panhandle defense than what we've seen in a long time. So not taking away anything from either of these teams, but a very, very impressive win for the Skyrockets out there in the Panhandle. Two teams. Oh, well, hang on. Before we get there, I forgot. How about Stephenville pulling it out 43-42 over Wichita Falls Rider? This was a very, very gritty, tenacious win for Stephenville. I still have a lot of questions about the Stephenville defense. Now, they got going in the second half. It looked like Ryder was about to really pull away with this game. We know the Stephenville offense tends to be explosive, but their quarterback, Ryder Lambert's out. So I want to make sure real fast that I get this quarterback name right. You're watching live coverage of me looking this up, because I said it 800 times tonight, and I still can't remember. Oh, goodness. Guys, it's been a night. I'm gonna find it. I'm determined now. Ryan Gafford. There it is. Ryan Gafford. After after the game ended, we had one of our Valley reporters, Paige Schnorbach, go, and she interviewed him, and he was so calm, and that was just miraculous, because, I mean, it's a 43-42 game. I would have been losing my mind, and this kid is standing there cool, calm, and collected. He was like, you know what, we did what we needed to do. We led the team to a victory. That is incredibly impressive, especially when you're probably not expecting at that point to have to be put into these situations when you know that Ryder Lambert, superstar quarterback, you remember him from the 4A Division I championship last year, he goes down with an injury. This kid steps up, and it's tremendous. Yeah, questions still about Stephenville's defense. I think that eventually they will get to a point where you just can't outscore everyone every single time. But this team, man, if the defense keeps pulling it together like this, they did it against Everman, they're doing it again with another 1-point victory. If nothing else, Coach Sterling Doty has those Yellow Jackets down to we're going to fight till the final seconds. Very impressive win. And then the two other teams that I want to make sure to point out here, two coaches we actually were able to talk with on Valley Sports Southwest Football Friday. One, shout out to Coach Ruben De Leon Jr. If you're not familiar where he coaches, he's over there with the Pearsall Mavericks down in Frio County by the Frio River. 5-0 with a win, a 50-20 win over Lytle. And you might be going, well, Lytle hasn't won a game this year, so why is that significant to any stretch? Pearsall was 0-10 last year. Coach Leone came in, and now they're 5-0. And it's not a fluke 5-0. They look like a legitimately good team that's ready to go into district in about 2 weeks. They've got a small district down there, but ready to go into district and say, hey guys, we haven't been here in a while, but we're back. So congratulations to him. And then another one that we wanted to point out was Brownfield. We talked about Brownfield and Littlefield. I know Tepper called me out on Tep and Step because he said I kind of chuckled. I liked it. It was a hipster pick, but they are now 5-0. And the reason that that's significant, much in the same vein, they weren't 0-10, but they've only had 4 wins in the past 2 seasons, and so they're looking really good. They've got a really good wide receiving core that I think can make some noise, but a huge win down there. So congratulations to Pearsall and Bramfield, because they are, they're taking programs and they're turning it around, and that's the beautiful thing about this sport. We can predict one way or predict the other, but it's all about what happens on the field. So congratulations to both of those teams. But that's gonna do it for week 5, another fun, exciting week, but we will be back on Monday to break it down and overreact to the weekend and Monday morning fallout. We'll see you on Texas Football Today on Monday. Bye, guys.